What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mevo Multicam Live. My name is Will Kirkpatrick, and I'm a technical specialist here at Mevo. And this show is really exciting. We get to go over everything about the Multicam app, which is our brand new app. It's completely free. It allows you to use up to 3 Mevos to stream or to record. And it works for the Mevo Start, Mevo Plus, and Mevo First Gen. If you haven't already checked it out, I do highly recommend it, even if you have only one Mevo. There are a lot of great features. And if you have more than one Mevo, absolutely give it a try. This show, we go over a lot about how it is a great solution to a more complicated problem that used to be the case for a lot of multi-camera streams, whether it is using big, heavy, not really portable, complicated and basically difficult to set up cameras and computers using OBS, Ecamm, vMix, etc. And so now we have it in this great portable package, and it works on iOS and Android, both phones and tablets. It's a really great app, and I do recommend everybody check it out. If you have any questions at all about the Multicam app or Mevo in general, put those in chat. We're live on YouTube and Facebook right now. And yeah, we'll get to those in just a little bit. Today we're going to be specifically going over how to set up a multicam setup on location or just remotely. We have a lot of people that are using multicam for sports, house of worship services, different other outdoor events. There's a lot of concerts and DJing happening. So this is something that also I see a lot of people bringing multicam setups to different events, like conferences and stuff like that. So this applies to them as well. There are a couple ways to do this, and we're going to go through both of them. Let's see. First, let me talk a little bit about the current setup that we're using. So we are in total using 9 Mevo starts today. We've got 8 of them on Wi-Fi. We've got 1 of them on the power over Ethernet adapter. I like to have at least 1 PoE being used, just because it's important that we test all this stuff and make sure that it's working the way that it should, and get to play around with that also. Let's see, so let me give you a tour of my cameras real quick. We've got our center camera. We've got our great Mevo sign. Then I have an overhead camera so I can show you what's going on the other tablets. Sorry, tablet and phone. So we've got an Android tablet here. This is a Samsung Galaxy S7. And this has 3 Mevo starts connected to it, as you can see. Really easy to switch between those. And then we've got a cell phone. And this phone has 3 Mevo starts connected to it as well. As you can see, nice tour around the studio. And then going back to the center camera, we have audio that's being done by a blue microphone. This is the blue Bluebird, and it is going into an audio mixer and then going from the audio mixer into the back of the Mevo Start using a 3.5 millimeter TRS cable. So that is our very big and complex setup, and I'm going to go into how these devices are using the Mevo in a little bit. But let me go into the app a little bit more. All right, so we use the Android tablet today. We often use the iPad Pro to demo, so give you a little bit of variation there. So obviously you have your 3 cameras up front, very easy to switch between them as I showed earlier. You've got the live streaming destinations just like the Mevo 2.0 app. Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, Periscope, Twitch, and of course custom RTMP. We've got recording. So for recording, let me pull up the iPad really quickly. And the reason that I am grabbing the iPad for the recording is because I have SD cards in all of these cameras as opposed to the Android device. So let me center it for you here. All right, so if I go into recording, you can see I can do record to device, and that'll be recording directly to the iPad or the phone or tablet, whatever you're using. And that's really great. That's the output that's being saved there onto the device. And that means it's really, really easy to share that final footage from your phone or tablet directly onto social media or in emails or text messages to friends and family. And then, of course, we have ISO recording, which, if you've watched the show before, you've heard me really rave about this, and I think it's a fantastic feature that more people should use if you're not already. Basically, ISO recording is where every one of the Mevos will record directly to their SD card what it's seeing. So it won't be the switched output that you typically see up here. It will be exactly what the cameras are seeing the entire time that it's recording. And that means that if you're doing something like sports, gaming, maybe you have a podcast or a news show, something where you don't necessarily have the ability to predict what's happening on each single camera. Maybe you have 2 cameras covering different parts of the field. Maybe you have the camera on each person for the podcast, and you don't know necessarily when something is going to happen. And if I'm trying to switch and catch that action just by switching like that in the app, although it is fast, I still might miss maybe the first part of that play or the first part of that conversation, something like that. Either way, using ISO recording, it's recording the entire time. So no matter what, you have that recorded. And not only that, is you can take the SD cards from the Mevos afterwards, and then you can bring them into a computer and do a really nice, polished final edit of your footage. So it's a huge, huge, huge feature that I love a lot. All right, jumping back into the app. We also have graphics now in 1.0. There's a few people that I've been seeing in tickets that have yet to do the update outside of beta. So be sure to check in settings right in the About section there, and that'll show what version you have. If you have less than 1.0, then you are using the beta and need to update. The app is available, of course, on the iTunes App Store and Google Play Store. So using different graphics is really easy, just like switching cameras. You just tap. You can see here on the Mevo.com website, we have the Multicam app and links directly to the apps if you need help finding those. So in addition, something that I haven't mentioned yet, but since I have a graphic for it right here, I might as well pull it up. So we have a referral program going on right now. It's basically always going on, so you can always take advantage of it. What it is if you refer someone to purchase a Mevo on Mevo.com, then they will get 5% off and you will get 5% commission. So not only are you getting other people involved in the Mevo family, and I know lots of people are already telling their friends and family and coworkers about the Mevo, so you might as well benefit while doing that and set up a referral so you can get that 5% commission as well, and that's mevo.com/referral. So that is that. And then we have other graphics for other different types of events or broadcasts. We know that there are a lot of house of worship broadcasters, and a lot of the times they want to put on some lyrics on the screen, and that's always useful and important. If you're a gaming broadcaster, maybe you want to have some kind of a border. I really like this one. All of these, by the way, are PNG files. You can do pictures that are JPEGs or PNGs, but PNGs are the transparent ones. We've got album artwork. If you're a musician, maybe you want to advertise your album or your music in general. And then, of course, team sports are obviously really big as well. And the cool thing about this graphic, I'll show you real quick, is that I can go into edit, and then I can quickly tap and adjust the score just like that. And so this way you can keep updating the score and the stats on the screen. And I can show you how to create graphics like this and all that stuff if you're interested. All right, in addition to graphics, we also have a great way to bring in multiple channels of audio. This is really useful if you have different Mevos capturing different things, like say you have a podcast going on, then you might want to have both mics active. Just by tapping that, I can do that and then adjust it as needed. This can also be useful if you are in a house of worship and you want one Mevo to be connected to your sound system and another Mevo connected to maybe the center of the church, wherever anybody's speaking. This is also really cool in sports. If you have one Mevo that's connected to the announcer maybe, and another Mevo that is using its internal mics to pick up the crowd or the audience. Also great in music situations as well. So you can get really creative. You can also input sound effects into by using like a tablet or phone or even computer connected to one of your Mevos. So you can get really creative, and if you've seen some of the past shows, I've shown a little bit of that. Let's see, we also have transition types, cut and crossfade. And this is all about customizing your stream so that it is really engaging for your viewers. Look at that, crossfade is beautiful. And it really depends on the type of stream that you want to have and the kind of tone that you want to give it. But we want to give you more and more customization options so that you can make your stream very much your own. Camera Assistant, of course. This is like the Mevo 2.0 app where it has the live edit feature. And what this does is it switches Mevos automatically. And this is great if you're a smaller setup and maybe you're just a single person, or maybe you don't even have somebody that's available for switching. I found this to be the case when I was doing the sports demo on the field. I just didn't have that extra person, but I was able to set it to auto director and have the camera switch for me. You can set a preferred shot, that's what that star is. And a preferred shot is the camera that it's going to switch to most often. And so I'll let that do that. There you go. Automatic switch after 3 seconds, just like I said it. So that's Camera Assistant. You can do crop settings now. You can adjust the camera input quality, the video source latency. These are two factors that are important when you're managing your network bandwidth. If you have connection issues or are getting a lot of bandwidth warnings, then what you'll want to do is set the latency to high. Maybe you want to lower the resolution a little bit. The camera input quality is what the camera is sending the Multicam app and not what you're streaming, so that's important to remember. And so those are the core features, and now that I've gone through those, I'm going to jump into questions, and then after doing a little bit more of those, we're going to jump back into the portable setups. So thanks for bearing with me through all of that. It looks like we've got a ton of questions already, which is great. All right. Connor says, will the Mevo camera be able to hook up to Switcher Studio? So if I'm not mistaken, Switcher Studio is an app on the phone. Let me just double check. So yeah, so because it's an app on the phone, the Mevo doesn't have the ability to connect directly to it. A lot of people are requesting the Mevo to hook up directly to Zoom on a mobile device, and that is just unfortunately not doable at the moment, but definitely highly requested, and yeah, maybe we'll see it in the future. Fred the Hippo, welcome back, buddy. Is there a way that we can have the option to make scenes similar to OBS where we can have camera graphics, etc., all within one press? That's a great idea, and I think it goes along with what we were talking about a little bit yesterday when it comes to folders and just general organization of graphics. So that's definitely something I would love to see, and I know that our developers are working on all sorts of new things to get those things organized. So maybe we'll be able to see scenes or just kind of general folders in the future. Thanks for that question. Fernando says, can you multi-stream in 2 or more platforms in the Multicam app? I can do it with the one camera app. Yes, so in the Mevo 2.0 app, you can use your Vimeo subscription to stream to multi-destinations in the Multicam app. Currently, you can't do that. You can use services like Restream if you have a Vimeo premium subscription. I think Caster does it as well. You can stream to those destinations and they will switch it to multi-destination. But in terms of multi-destination built directly into Multicam, not yet, not at this time. Sean says, this is off topic, no worries. However, where and how do you put in the additional memory card? So let's see, for the Mevo Start and the Mevo Plus, it's on the back. And you can see, let me see if I can, you can see right here on the back of the Mevo Start, that bottom one is where you would plug that in. And I think I can actually grab a card out of this just to show you here. So it's important that it is upside down when it goes in. And then, there we go. Right like that. And then just push it in with your nail. And then you're good to go. So that's how you do that. Let's see. Ned says, probably asked many times, but will a future version of the app allow for more than 3 cameras to be connected? Yes, I would very highly suggest that this would happen in the near future. We don't have that set for sure, but it's definitely something that we're looking at and something that we want to do. So stay tuned. As soon as we can do any more, I will show you on this show. I've actually shown before that I connected up to 6 cameras. And I am constantly messing around with that, trying to add more and more cameras to Multicam because I want to see how stable it is, and it's been performing amazingly. So I really hope that we can increase the camera count very soon. How many cameras tops? So you can do 3 cameras at a time right now, and they can be any one of the Mevos. Kirk says, do you hope to import Mevo 2 features into Multicam soon? Absolutely. I mean, we're always doing a little bit of transferring from the Mevo 2.0 to the Multicam app. Thankfully, in version 1.0, we brought along a ton of the Mevo 2.0 features. So that includes crop and zoom. All of the image adjustments are in there. You've got the regular Mevo settings. There you go. And you can access all those by pressing the 3 dots on your Mevo. Basically, pretty much the only things that we haven't brought over so far are, I think, multicam or multi-destination and obviously some of the audio options. But everything else, I believe, has been brought over. Thank you for that question. Paul says, is the addition of graphics an additional paid feature? It is not. So graphics are completely free in the Multicam app, unlike the Mevo 2.0 app, which does require a Vimeo subscription. So even if you have a single Mevo, you could use the Multicam app just for the graphics. Let's see. Rob says, have not tried it yet, but if I am streaming from the ballpark with terrible cell signal and just want to record a game, then upload it later, I assume hitting record icon, then hitting the start recording icon will save to my SD card at that moment. Anything I do with the streaming icon will not have any effect on the recording. The recording will only stop when I press the icon to stop recording. So, yes, so if you have terrible cell signal, you can absolutely still record. You can do both the record to device and ISO recording. The biggest thing for that, I would say, is you might want a good Wi-Fi setup if you are on location, just so you can have more range between your Mevos. And that's something we'll go into in a little bit. So thank you for that question, but yes, you can absolutely record directly to SD card and device. Jared says, on what ports does the app communicate? Is it what network layer does it communicate on? Just curious if I can make this work over VPN. Unfortunately, no, it will not work over VPN. We do have an article in the help section, help.mevo.com, that goes into detail on the specific ports. I don't know them offhand, but we do have an article that Joe wrote that is very, very good, all about the networking aspect of the Multicam app. Thank you for that. RCTV HD says, any plans for a desktop app controller for the Windows and Mac? So not at this time. We have no plans on bringing either the Mevo 2.0 app or the Multicam app over to desktop, but of course you can bring the Multicam app to your desktop currently through custom RTMP, which I demoed last week, and of course you can do one Mevo at a time using the wireless webcam applications. Fred the Hippo says, does simultaneous recording to the device and live streaming increase the load of the device and risk hindering the streaming process? So no, the recording doesn't require any more network bandwidth. And something that we do that's really cool with the Multicam app is that the camera signal that's being sent from the cameras to the Multicam app, that's done in H.265. And what's cool about that is it not only lets us have higher quality, but it also lowers the bandwidth cost. So no issues with simultaneous recording. All right. Rob says, is there any way to embed video graphics outside of something like OBS? So unfortunately, no. Currently, you have to use something like OBS, Ecamm, vMix, any one of those, Wirecast, to do video graphics, animations, all that stuff. But it is something that is very highly requested for the Multicam app, and maybe something that we can bring to the app in the future. That would be certainly great. Let's see. I'm gonna butcher that name. Ionut. Sorry. I will. Hi, how you doing? Sorry about butchering the name. I saw many shows with you and Joe, and when you use NDI frame drops, no frame drops with Multicam and Mevo 2.0, which may be the issue. So yeah, it's definitely something you look at every show. Sometimes there are image issues with NDI. It really depends on the network. The network that we're using obviously has like 20 plus Mevos on it, so it is a little bit strained. But yeah, we have noticed it, and we're always trying to fix that and improve it. So hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it very soon. Jared says, thanks for that. I'm going to try to circumvent the limitations. Everybody that wants to use VPN feels that same way. Everybody wants to try and get around it, and it's definitely something that is worth trying. If you can do it, that's awesome. But unfortunately, it's not built that way. It's not built for VPN. So I definitely don't discourage you from giving it a try, but I also have not seen people be successful on that. Ballooning on Mars, that's awesome, says, when will Mevo start work in OBS on MacBook M1? Hopefully very soon. Wireless webcam does work with M1, and we're hoping to fully support M1 in the near future. It's definitely a high priority for us, and something that we want to do. So hopefully very soon we'll be fully supported with M1. But unfortunately, Apple kind of sprung the M1 on the entire software industry, basically, And so unfortunately, even stuff like Adobe Photoshop is not ready for the M1 processor. So it's very annoying and very frustrating, but we're working on it for sure. Fred the Hippo says, can you show us how to do sound effects through another device? Let's see if I have the right kind of stuff. So let me look down here. So what I typically do is I will open up VLC on my other device. Let's see if I have. Unfortunately, if I get out of these multicam apps, then they're going to lose their connections. But basically what you do is you have one device. Say I have my phone here. My phone is running VLC, and then you can put MP3s, whether they're sound effects, music, whatever it is, on your secondary device, and then take an output from this. If I wanted to use this phone, I would use a Lightning to 3.5 millimeter adapter, and then I would input that directly into one of my Mevos, whether it's this secondary one over here or maybe this one right here. And so by doing that, then I can have two audio sources, and I can have one be the mic, and the other Mevo is the sound effects. So I could just have that going like this, and have the music being played through the other Mevo. So that's how you would do it. Unfortunately, I don't have it all set up today, but you can definitely check out past broadcasts of this show when I've done that. And yeah, there should be a lot of good examples. Charlie says, I've read that an Android tablet must have 3 gigs of RAM. What is the minimum configuration required for an iPad? So iPads are a little bit different, but also kind of the same. Most iPads will work with the Multicam app without much issue as long as it's iOS 11 or higher. I always recommend 3 gigs of RAM on the iPad if possible, and most of them that are newer do have that covered. But yeah, I would look for an iPad that's over 3 gigs of RAM. So anything within past 2 or 3 years, you should be good. Eminem says, we have never mind. Sorry. We had a question and then it was taken away. So with that, we actually can take a quick pause from questions really quick and jump into these other setups. So first, let's talk about the Orbi. So what I'm using is this Orbi Wi-Fi router, and this is a home Wi-Fi device. So it is not specifically made for being on location. It's not specifically made for the outdoors at all. But it has fantastic range. So you're able to, using a battery, you're able to bring it outside with you and get that huge range. If you saw, this is what I did on the baseball field 3 weeks ago, and that's how I got the camera to have one camera on the first base line, right next to first base, and then another camera that was way behind home plate. And I had no problem with the range, and I was walking around the field with the control device. And this is how I did it. I had this Orbi router. Obviously, it works for other routers, whatever you can get that hooks up to a portable power bank. If I use this one, then I can have this Orbi charged for, I don't know, like 8 hours basically. So that's how this whole setup is being done. And then I stream directly to my destination, and it uses my phone's cellular signal. Now, this is not my hotspot signal, so if you have limited hotspot data, don't worry about it. This will go directly through your phone data. Most people have unlimited phone data at this point. And I was able to stream 1080p high resolution, multiple cameras on location using this Orbi, and this phone is a 4G phone, so you don't necessarily have to get a 5G phone to have a great connection. So that is a great way to do a portable setup and my preferred way. But that being said, sometimes people don't have a Wi-Fi router that they can take along with them. Sometimes they don't have a battery bank. But move the phone out of the way and bring up my other setup. So using this Android tablet, what I'm doing is I have this Mevo. This Mevo Start is broadcasting a Wi-Fi signal. So it's just the Mevo Hotspot. You can set that up in the Multicam app. You can set it up in the Mevo 2.0 app. If you've been using the Mevo for a while, you're probably very familiar with Mevo Hotspot. When you turn on Mevo Hotspot, then your Mevo will start broadcasting a Wi-Fi signal. And with this, you can connect not only the other two Mevos that you want to use, but you can also connect the device itself. So this Android device is connected to this Mevo's Wi-Fi, and so are these two other Mevos. All three connected to the same Mevo hotspot, and this allows you to stream from the device and take advantage of all three Mevos without having an actual Wi-Fi hotspot with you. So really easy. All right, we got some questions. We have Eminem says, we have a Mevo Start and accidentally put it not on power. My question continues to be deleted by Joseph. We're gonna skip past that one. Eminem, I will get back to your question as soon as Joseph puts it in, and I'm gonna jump down to Ben. Ben says, I've had issues with my iPad Pro that has 2 gigs of RAM. So again, it brings back what I was saying earlier about how 3 gigs of RAM is really preferred. But yeah, iPad Pro should be good. But yeah, definitely open up a ticket with us and we'll do a deep dive into that and figure that out. But yeah, typically look for a tablet with over 3 gigs of RAM. You must have, I think the first gen iPad Pro is the one that has 2 gigs of RAM, and that's fairly old at this point. But open up a ticket, help.mevo.com, and we'll look into it. Rob says, what model is the Orbi? The Orbi is, it's a good question. The Orbi is RBR50. So our fearless leader picked that up for us. And I'm also testing other routers. I want to do a help article that goes into different tiers of Wi-Fi hubs, different price tiers. So hopefully we'll have that very soon. Another thing that we're going to be testing in the future is using mesh networks on location. Obviously mesh networks at home work great. But yeah, I'm looking into that. Ben Becker says, spec on the battery bank. The battery bank is a Talent cell, and 24 volt in and out. I don't know how much is in here though. Battery capacity, 25.9 volts. So yeah. Let's see. Eminem says, have you planned to put in some software stabilization as has the GoPro? So software stabilization has actually been in the Mevo, at least the Mevo Start, since the beginning. I don't know about the Mevo Plus, but I think so. There's electronic image stabilization. I can show you that real quick. So you would go into Mevo settings. Image adjustments. And then if you scroll all the way to the side, you'll see EIS. That's electronic image stabilization. You can turn that on just like that, and you're good to go. All right, thanks for that question. Daniel says, I want to use a Mevo with Wirecast. Is that possible? Absolutely. So you can use the Mevo with Wirecast by using wired webcam, wireless webcam, or NDI. We have articles on all three, step-by-step guides on help.mevo.com. Ballooning on Mars. Would you like to see some then live footage from a Mevo from a DJ balloon fight over the desert? Yeah, absolutely. Please do post that in the Facebook group, share that with everybody, tag us at Mevo Camera. Yeah, that would be really, really cool. I'd love to see that. If you have any footage at all that you're using for Multicam or even just the Mevo, do post it on one of our Facebook groups or tag us on at Mevo Camera on any social network. We always love to check out what everybody's doing, and I think it's really good for the community as well because we get good ideas about just how to do different streams, whether it is using different devices, using different, I've seen a lot of conversations over different gimbals and tripods. People share great ideas that they have for different shots, different use of transitions. So definitely, I encourage everybody to share their stuff. Yasin says, hello. How you doing? Welcome to the Multicam show. I hope you're enjoying it. All right. So, what have we not gone over? Crop and zoom, I would say. So, just like image adjustments, you can get to crop and zoom by tapping those three dots. And this was just added. Oh, whoops. I gotta update the firmware on that one. This is the problem when you're setting up 9 Mevos. So, we'll do it right here. Crop and zoom, just like that. And we'll see what Nate's doing over there. And there you go. That is crop and zoom. All right. Thank you, everybody, for all of those questions. That was a ton of questions. And yeah, definitely let me know in the future if you'd like to kind of do a deep dive on any specific multicam topic. I'm posting in the Facebook group all the time. So definitely let me know if you have any specific questions, and hopefully we can get to those in future shows. Again, I want to demo more situations on future shows. I definitely want to do a football field or soccer field because I know that there are a lot of people that do that as well. And I also want to test the mesh network setup on location and see if I can get some really crazy range. Looks like we got another question from Ballooning on Mars. The drone is a DJI. Nice, always good. Views from the balloon by Mevo. That is really cool. The links to the actual live stream are in the description. Unfortunately, the tower is not strong enough to above 300 meters. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how you do connection that high. But yeah, I would love to see that footage. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, so as a reminder, we have shows that are Tuesday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Tuesday's show, which is an AMA show, Ask Mevo Anything. You can ask Joe, or if I'm filling in for Joe, me, any questions that you have about the Mevo hardware or software. On Wednesday, we've got, obviously, the Multicam show, and I get to show you stuff that hasn't been released yet. We get to talk about different kind of multicam setups, share ideas and all that stuff. On Thursday, it's usually Joe and I. Tomorrow, it's going to be Joseph and I, because Joe is taking a little bit of a vacation, much well-deserved. And then on Fridays, we have Joseph's audio and webcam show. So if you have any questions about your audio setup with the Mevo, or you have any questions about the wireless webcam or regular webcam, you can ask Joseph. He's got answers to all of them. So I highly recommend checking out all of those shows, especially if you're a multicam user, because if you're a multicam user, then you're a Mevo user and you're an audio user as well. So all very worthwhile. Paulo says, how can I connect Mevos to eCam besides USB wired? So eCam is very, very similar to Wirecast, vMix, OBS in the sense that you can connect using wired webcam, wireless webcam, and NDI. So 3 very good options for you depending on which Mevo you have. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, we got one more. Eminem says, can recording to the microSD card and live stream 1080p at the same time be a problem during a lagging stream? So no, you will be able to record directly onto the SD card in good quality, even if the stream is not great quality. So you should be good to go for that, and yeah, you're good to go. All right, thank you for that question. Thank you everybody for participating. Thanks for tuning in again, and I will see you tomorrow on Thursday's show with Joseph and I. All right, last question, really quick. Can you show one, add full screen overlay, and choose the background image, and then edit full screen overlay and change the background color? Yeah, absolutely. So let me show you that really quickly. So to add another camera or to add graphics, hit that plus button, hit graphics, full screen overlay, and then obviously you can do a background color, you can do a background image. So if I wanted to do the Multicam app page, I can just set that up like that, turn that on and off. So that's how you add a full screen graphic using a background image. And then your second part is edit the full screen overlay. So to edit it, you would just go inside, tap the 3 dots, press edit. I could do black text on, let's see, the right side. Hi. There you go. That's how you would edit the full screen overlay. And then changing background color. So if I wanted to do this transparent overlay and wanted to change the background, I would just hit background color and then choose my background color. And then it would be good to go. Oh, but because this is a full screen PNG, it won't do it. So if I do a regular graphic, full screen overlay, and then adjust background color, there you go. And that is how you do a full screen overlay. All right. And now, if I take my graphics off, all right, thank you guys again. We are heading out now. I will see you all tomorrow on our Mevo live show with Joseph and I. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me.